Here we go.
Yes.
Okay, so hello, Alex.
Hi.
Hello, lovely to see you again. So perhaps we could start off, if you wouldn't mind, just giving us a little bit about your background, and what you were doing before you joined the TESOL course last September, wasn't it? September 2024.
That's right. Yes. Hi, Susanna. So my name is Alex Porido, and I've worked for over 30 years with vulnerable people, homeless people, young people, refugees, asylum seekers, both in the local authority and different charities in Greater Manchester. About 5 years ago, I decided I needed a change in career. A couple of friends said to me that I'll probably be a good teacher, but I didn't think that was me, only because I thought that I didn't have the academic knowledge of how to teach English. And I thought that required a higher level English literature degree or something like that.
Do you mean like from the grammar side? You didn't understand?
Yes, yes. I
Mm,
thought that perhaps I needed to have a greater academic knowledge on
mm,
grammar.
mm,
And as you know, and my first language was Greek, even though now I'm bilingual. And
mm.
I thought my accent might interfere with the teaching. So I thought perhaps not. But then I start looking into it, and the advert came through my networks about the Northwest Consortium. You were funded to deliver the course, and I thought, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I'll give it a go and see how I do. Um, you were brilliant at that interview. I think it was such a holistic um, assessment. So that actually reassured me that's that's a good quality program, because you've
Mhm.
seen me, my background, skills, transferable skills, and then we highlighted areas that I could work on. You explained the course, and I thought, that's exciting. So yeah, that's actually your interview was the reassurance and inspiration that I could go to do this course.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I mean, the interview is part of, all Trinity centers have to really be sure that candidates, first of all, know what they're getting, what they're signing up for, the work involved. And also it's an opportunity to have a greater conversation with yourself, ask any questions that you might have about the course, and also for us to tell you what we offer. Excuse me, my mum's grandfather clock. Can you hear that? Jesus, I forget. It will go. We'll have to time it right because it goes every half an hour, every quarter of an hour, and on the hour it will chime.
That's a proper clock. That's a proper clock. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So with the interview, um, because obviously the TESOL as well, there are lots of other skills too. Obviously you have to be able to use IT, and even though you might not be used to using it, but you can learn. But it's just a way for us to assess, how you present information, and like you say, any transferable skills that you have. So it's not just a written test or a grammar test, because there's more to it than that. Maybe like you said, you're a bit concerned about your grammar. Well, often lots of people are in the similar situation. You could be fluent in English, have spoken English all your life, but still not really have much of an idea about grammar or grammatical terms. And that's just one part of teaching. The important part also is how you come across and how you put information across. And you did a really interesting presentation about bees, wasn't it? So
Yes, that's
that
right.
was really fun. So you engaged, and seeing how you engaged me and asked questions. And that's a really key part of the process, because it ensures then that people on the course, are able to complete the course, and know exactly what's coming up. So it just makes the whole process much easier for trainees and for us as well, really, to make sure that the outcome is successful. Okay, so I and you did the course, and how did you find actually, because you did the 14-week course, so it was from September to December.
Yeah.
How did you find it? Was it intense? Was it hard work?
Yeah, like teaching is not for the faint-hearted. You have to commit to it. It's demanding. You have to put in the study hours. However, the learning outcome is immense. So I thought the combination of the taught and practice sections were really well balanced, because we had the time to study and learn from the three teachers we had and each other, and then apply it, get constant feedback and support. So that was really helpful in developing the confidence and skill, really, and the knowledge. So it helped me identify the areas I needed to spend more time on, and also honed in what is important in teaching from the learner's point of view and from the teacher's point of view. You know, the strategies you taught us about, you're always focusing on the student. Okay, how you personalize it, how you differentiate it, because usually you have mixed ability classes, and you never have all the same at the same level. So that opened up the channels of actually being able to adapt my approach and method. It was fascinating. Watching other teachers during your classes and my peers as well, that helped picking up some ideas, methods that work really well. So I love that community of teachers and learners you create in your courses through Train-to-TEFL, and there's a constant interaction there. So yeah, I think the course was a very good quality course to meet my needs anyway.
Yeah, because you completed all your teaching practice face to face, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
And the face-to-face, although I was very keen to develop my online teaching, actually it helped me to realize that I perform better on face-to-face. That immediacy. Yes, online has a great technological sort of tools, but that immediacy of face-to-face with the students, it works better for me, I think.
But I remember in your teaching, you also made use of technology. You created your own materials. You used YouTube. You made fantastic presentations, games. These are fantastic, skills, and the students really enjoyed them as well.
I mean, that's also the other advantage to the course, is that you linked us with so many resources, online resources, Wall, Quizlet, the model platform, which was amazing, that we could use and take some ideas, and other resources online, and how we could use that, how we could use this, Zoom as well, just in case we needed it. So yeah, absolutely.
And also you made use of Trinity's lesson planning tool as well, didn't you?
I did.
How did you find that?
Actually, I didn't think that it would work, but it really did. I think it was one of the most accurate AI sort of tools I used for developing lesson plans. I needed to tweak it a bit anyway, but I think that's required. So I really enjoyed that because it was a more accurate tool than any others. It seemed to have quite a few resources to build.
That's it, and I think it gives you great ideas, doesn't it? And it prompts you really well. So it asks you what type of course, what learners are they, what level are they, what kind of skills are you, what vocabulary do you want to include? Exactly. So it's a great way to get things started if you're unsure of what to do. It gives you really great ideas.
Absolutely, yeah.
And which part of so you talked about the teaching practice, and how about the assignments? How did you find the assignments? For example, the unknown language.
Yeah, I mean, the unknown language was recalling back to my own learning English. But it was an amazing opportunity to actually, following Son's teaching, to actually apply that and write the assignment. But it's all the experience a learner whose first language is not English has during that learning experience, where you know, you expect your teacher to help you understand with any and every skill and method they have, whether it is miming, grading, whatever, you know, connecting with you and encouraging you to learn. So it helped me understand how the first language interferes or helps at times with the learning as well, and how it can be positive at the beginning, and we shouldn't really stop students use the first language if that's helping to learn, but knowing when to actually help students ease that and go more into the second language speaking. Yeah, I think it was fascinating, the psychology of it, the techniques we can use, and again, going back to personalization, because different students have their own personalities and strengths, and some are confident, some are more quiet or shy, and how do you bring that potential out?
Yeah. Fantastic. So if you were to give someone who was thinking about doing the TESOL course some tips about how to manage, the workload, because obviously you've got all these things going on at the same time, having your assignments, you've got the input session on the Monday, you've got your teaching practice at a different time. I mean, any advice that you would give for managing the workload?
Do not leave it to the last minute. Please do the work as you go along. Anyway, it's so interesting and fascinating that even at the end of the taught part of the course, you will be interested to go away and research and find out from the resources that you gave us. I research and sort of try to learn a little bit more and trying to understand what the concepts were with the books and other resources you gave us. So attend the classes. They're really useful, they're really fascinating, interesting, and you learn a lot. Do the work the next couple of days for sure. It's good for you and your progression. And the assignments, it's being disciplined enough to have a bit of a lesson learned. Just make little notes of what's important, highlight resources that you've been given. Some of the presentations that you provide are very helpful as a guiding tools. So it's all there. It's about being disciplined with keeping on the timetable.
Yeah,
3 months go just like that.
Yeah, fantastic. And how did you find, you mentioned there, doing what's there. So on the course, we have a Moodle platform for Train-to-TEFL, and you've got access to the TESOL Foundation course, which is the self-study units about, that underpins the whole curriculum. And then we have the TESOL toolkit where you'll find sample assignments and so on. And how did you find using these tools, particularly the foundation course?
Do you know, I still use it. So we finished the course in December last year, and then I got some job opportunities. I use it as a source of material, of ideas, of resources. I mean, the curriculum is, of course, important. The diagnostic assessments you've got there were really helpful for me to actually use with the learners I had the last 6 months. I found it very, very helpful in my teaching practice. So, and I
Fantastic.
use it, yeah.
And then let's talk a little bit now of when once you finished the course, you finished at Christmas time, and then obviously, well, in January you took advantage of the sort of mentoring, volunteering opportunities with us at Train-to-TEFL. So can you tell me a little bit about that, what you did and where you did it and who you did it with?
Yes. So Train-to-TEFL gave me this amazing opportunity to volunteer and practice my teaching. Because I felt I wasn't confident enough to actually deliver. But having shadowed a couple of teachers, Audrey was amazing, a very experienced teacher, and she almost floated. You know, her teaching was so seamless that I love the ease she was teaching and engaging the students and striking the right balance between teaching the grammar, the pronunciation, all the different aspects of the language, but also engaging the students without creating a friction. Oh, now we are being taught grammar. Oh, now we are a little bit more free practice. So that helped me a lot to develop my own style and understand that I shouldn't get all het up about now I have to teach grammar in this way. So so it was really inspiring and helpful to me. And yeah, I think mainly it was Audrey's input that inspired me and helped me to build that confidence and style.
Brilliant. Because then not long after, really, very early, was it in March that you managed to you secured a job with a big college in Manchester? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's right. At the same time as I was volunteering with Train-to-TEFL, I was applying for some jobs. One was for summer school in July, which I was interviewed and accepted by international private company for 3 weeks. And then I applied through an agency to Manchester College to teach entry 3. And they asked me to actually teach the same ESOL classes, maths, entry 3, maths as well. So I started last week in March right through to end of June. And it was a baptism of fire. It was huge classes, really mixed ability. And the learners had a poor experience because I had a high turnover of teachers. So the gaps were really big, which I needed to cover both from grammar and level progression, but also in terms of the confidence. Well, all the skills.
Use the clock again. Sorry about the clock.
Okay. The skills, the strategies, the approaches I was taught on the course at Train-to-TEFL, as well as what I've seen from the teachers and Audrey in particular, I've applied it. So it was fascinating to see how I was able to adapt, because I needed to keep adapting. I didn't have the luxury of a student profile assessment. So I had to do it on the go with many students, some engaging, some needing more time. So I had to do it on the go. And it was just a fascinating way to actually adapt my teaching to get them through.
It's funny, actually. I had a good analogy about, when you do start teaching, obviously you've got the course gives you the skills, and like you said, that time with Audrey as well, and just throughout the course, all the different things you learn. But it's like, jumping out of a plane without a parachute, and you have to build your parachute on the way down. Maybe hopefully not quite so dramatic, in the classroom, but I think it's true. It's, because teaching, you don't know who you're going to get, do you? Or the levels, or what's going on, or what problems the students might have, and just the dynamics within the class. So as the teacher, you've got to bring all these skills in. And, I think that's something as well as the course, but obviously something skills that you already had just through your just work and life experience already would have really given you the confidence, and you've got the confidence and you've got the knowledge, and you put it together, and you had some amazing feedback. Can you tell me a little bit about? I mean, we can see some images coming up here, but tell me about the feedback that you received.
It was very moving, very touching, and very reassuring about my teaching ability. Some of the comments students made said how connected they felt as human beings with me as a teacher. And I think that's a really driving force. We need to connect with our learners as human beings, see them as a whole, and engage them, respect their personality, and invite their input as much as we can. So I think that connection, the humor I used in a very fast-pacing environment, and the respect I think I afforded them was really noted. They felt themselves they've made a leap of progress from where they were to the end.
Amazing, yeah.
Which is really their objective. But they did it in a way that they felt respected and they had an input in their learning. Because my concern was that I don't have enough time to apply that, engage more learner speaking time. That wasn't afforded to me because it was a very fast. So I found little ways to engage them. I created a situation where a student became the teacher. I asked them to come on the board and explain vocabulary or something like that. And people start building the confidence. No, I can do that. So those techniques, I think, spoke to my students, and we developed a really good bond.
Fantastic. And I think obviously they obviously feel your enthusiasm, and they know the effort that you're putting into your classes, creating word walls, taking the time to personalize.
Very much so, very much so, because we use quite a lot of real life examples from their own personal lives and their aspirations, the culture. There were some were newly arrived, some were a little bit more established. So we try and share experiences using English, and then that was my opportunity to do the correction. They introduce the grammar and build it up. So it became part of that process.
Yeah. And I think that's a testament to your skill as well as a teacher, because you mentioned it before that, if you say, for example, you're thinking today, okay, I'm going to teach the present perfect and I must do this, 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 this. And you just follow that plan, and you're just like a robot, and you're not listening. You're not taking on board what people are saying or gauging what's happening or what they need. And the skill of a teacher, obviously that you demonstrated there, is listening to what they need, knowing how much input you need to give. Maybe you need to give a little bit more, and being willing to be flexible and taking that language that's coming out from them, using it. And I think that must have created a wonderful sort of atmosphere. It must have been very fulfilling for you and great for the students as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it makes it easier on the teacher as well, because I knew from within the first week or so who wanted to take a more academic route and who wanted the qualification to follow a more vocational course. So that then immediately I knew who did I need the extended activity, who did I need to push a little bit more with extended activities, and who really they needed to learn how to speak and communicate for the purpose of their objectives, because testing all 4 skills it's really tough in a fast-pacing environment where there are a lot of gaps. So you need to balance it, speaking, listening, writing, And all that is really, you need to work on it all the time and see, okay, these people need a bit more work on the speaking and listening, and give the others a little bit more challenging activities.
Fantastic. And then you went from there, actually, the job that you did in the summer, you actually got that job before you got the job at Manchester College.
That's
So was
right.
that very different? Were they different types of students, different type of English?
Very different, because at Manchester College it was adults 18 plus, all my 3 classes. As I said, with very academic ability as well, from L1, the first language, and the second. The summer school was teenagers, was classrooms, 2 classrooms of teenagers, 15, 16 to 18-year-old. Italian, students from Saudi Arabia and Taiwan. One was mixed, the other class was Italian students only. And again, the 2 classes were very different. Although similar ages, one class were at a lower B1, more immature, and I'm saying that with all the love and adoration I have for young people, and the other more mature, more interested in learning the culture, discussing life events. So that was really interesting. However, having a classroom with the same first language bears its challenges, because they were reverting into Italian more often than not. So I've tried different techniques, and then what I've decided we do is that the teaching, the engaging, the showing, telling videos, different tools to engage them with me. And then I knew when I was giving them the activities, they will go back to Italian. But I was hovering around, and I was inviting them, encouraging them to speak. But we were, at the end, the final hour, I was asking them to create an activity where they had to perform, all of them. So they had to speak in English, and that worked. They seem to have loved that, especially the more mature class, because they took more initiative and led on their own learning, because they had to go away and research and bring some of their own experience in. So that was really helpful, and I've heard it in their language. Because what I was trying to encourage them is that there's nothing wrong with your Italian accent or whatever. I want you to hone in on the pronunciation, the intonation of the language, elements like this. So the confidence built, and they were more confident to speak more. And I could hear the level they were in.
Fantastic, yeah. So really, in a short space of time, you've taught, adults, teenagers, you've taught in a FE college, in a private language school. So it's pretty good going, Alex, and it's only August. It's only 6 months since you completed that. So what's next? What will you be doing from September?
So the challenge now is that so far I used existing resources, which I adapted, as we've been taught in at the Train-to-TEFL course. I think at a good quality. So now I'm going to design a course for refugee women who are at homelessness settings. There's been some funding through a charity. They approached me and they asked me if I would be willing to develop a course, assess the women, and then develop the course to deliver on site at the refugees.
Amazing. So you're going to be assessing them. You're going to be, from that assessment, I imagine, finding out what they want, putting a course together. So how wonderful. That's just amazing. Yeah. And I'm sure, with the experience you've had and all the skills you've developed, they're going to be very, impressed with what you produce for them, because it will be personalized, it will be targeted. Do you have any idea how many students you'll have, or?
It could be a rolling program and moving from different refugees. So anything between 10 and 15, depending on the bedrooms that the hostels.
Yeah. And will this be in Manchester?
Stockport. I'm starting in
Fantastic.
Stockport, and then we'll see from there.
Amazing. That's so cool. You have to keep us informed and let us know how it's going, and obviously keep making use of Moodle and our resources as well. So I'll have to, we talked about the Living in Salford materials. At the moment, we're still trialing them. We're tweaking them. I can send you over a couple of trial units, but they're going to be available for anyone to use. And the idea is that you can just, there are lots of different topics. So things like, common law and criminal law, what to do in certain situations, to things like treating children with head lice. So head lice might not be relevant at all to some groups, but maybe if it's ladies, they might have kids, so that's going to be highly relevant.
Absolutely.
So the idea is you take what you want, the PowerPoints are there, the teacher's notes are there, you can change them, you can add bits, you can take bits out, but the framework is there. But I'll let you have all the details for that once we've finished all the trials and everything. But it's that's wonderful, Alex. It's so I think hearing your story, it's a real inspiration for others who might be thinking about this course and maybe thinking, can I change now? Am I too old to maybe take a different career path? Will I be able to do it? Do I know enough grammar, for example, that you were worried about? And it just shows that, very quickly you've managed to, you've taken the teaching, something you've always wanted to do, and you're really running with it. And now you're creating your own course, which is just amazing.
It is true to say that without Train-to-TEFL, you lovely teachers, your skill, your quality of the quality of the course, and the support you showed me was the turning point and what helped me immensely. So thank you very much. Anybody who's interested, has a love for the subject, I would highly recommend taking the course and giving it a go. You will be teacher ready at the end of it with a lot of confidence.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.